Hi, I'm Jacob Gordon. I'm a first year student here at USF. I'm in Mumbai College of Business. Currently have a majoring in finance, and I'm planning on adding a minor in accounting, probably due to this class. It's pretty understandable and easy so far for me. Let's go here. So for all my requirements here, we got 2A, B here. That just shows state by total sales of insurance, the average sales per state, the number here, total sales by region here. Requirement 4 is same as requirement 3, except it divides each region into its salespersons. Requirement 5 shows the insurance type by total, and then it'll have region in a minute. 6 shows the map here, which is number of sales per state. The same as requirement 2AB, just put into a map. And the dashboard here, which I would go over. So for requirement 2, we see that New Jersey had the highest amount of sales here with $1,091,568.45. And Massachusetts had the lowest here with $764,532.11. So for the average amount, we can see that New York had the most per average sale with $788.32, and Connecticut had the least with $601.14. So for requirement 2D, we see that the range here of number of sales in all the states is pretty close. It's only 170 is the total range. We see that Maine had the highest with 1,400, and Louisiana had the lowest with 1,230. So for requirement 2E, do any not meet the 800,000 requirement? We see that 3 states here do not. Connecticut, Vermont, and Massachusetts are all under 800,000, so they do not meet the minimum sales value. So for requirement 3, see that Northeast here had the highest amount of sales with $9,301,632.10. New England had the least with $4,833,311.45. So for requirement 4, we see that Matt in the Northeast has the highest amount of sales, Jennifer in the Southeast, Dave in the Midwest, Peter in the West, Mario in the North Central, and Sarah in the New England region. So those were all the leading salespersons. So to go back to okay, so for requirement 5, we see that professional insurance was the most with 17 million. Auto was the next with 8.6 million. Home was the next largest with 8.275. Then we got disability insurance with 6.2, and then life with 3.3. All right. So for region wise, so we're going to just drag region here. We can see that looks like the Northeast had the most. I mean, it's going to match up with requirement 3 here. But it seems like professional has the most in all of them, and life is the least in all of them here. So for our map, just loaded quickly. We can see that here in the New England area was the highest amount of total sales by state, very dark, and then the more Midwest you get is still less. I mean, there's no real area or geographic zone that it doesn't really have much. I mean, it doesn't show Hawaii or Alaska, I don't believe, on here. But so yeah, for our dashboard here, we got all of them. The map here matches right here requirement 2AB. So we can see, quit moving that. There we go. So in the New England area here, all of these states up here are all in that area, so it kind of matches up there. Requirement 2C, the average, you can see it's pretty much the same. In the more dense area by total sales, there's higher average of sales. Requirement 2D, not story. This just shows, like again earlier, the number of sales by state. And then here, requirement 3 through 5 all matches up by the region and type of insurance. So we see the Northeast, they have the most here, so their bars are all taller here. They have the most total insurance. And some trends that I found doing this was obviously in the New England area, they would have the most total sales as well as the highest average amount of sales. I don't know what's going on there. We see that in all of the regions, the salespeople are all pretty close. Nobody really sticks out from each other. But on average, the states with the higher, like the Northeast, all of their people have a higher average than the regions like New England here. Like was said, the number of sales surprisingly wasn't too far different per state here, which makes sense because since the average amount of sales and the higher number of sales and the average sale per state, equates to a higher on the map here. Let's go back to the map here. So, like for example, New York here has pretty high number of sales and it has the highest average, so when we go to our map, it is pretty much the darkest area. Yeah, that's the Tableau project here.